In this lecture, we're going to check the player's quest items from the treasure chest. When the game starts, each treasure chest should check the player's items to know if they already have the item from the same chest. If the player already owns the item, there isn't a reason to allow the player to open the treasure chest again. To get started, open the treasure chest component. The items are stored as a list. Dealing with lists requires the system.collections.generic namespace. Add this namespace to the file. Next, let's begin checking the items. The best time to do this is when the game starts. At the top of the class, add the start method. Inside this method, add a conditional statement with the following condition: player prefs.has key player items. Before we can start checking the player's item, we should verify that they have saved data on their system. If they don't, we shouldn't bother checking their items. Inside the conditional block, let's grab the player's items. Create a list variable called player items. The list contains a list of string types. The value will be the player prefs utility.getStringPlayerItems method. After grabbing the player's items, let's loop through the items. As we loop through each item, we'll compare the item with the item from the treasure chest. If there's a match, we should stop the treasure chest from being opened. Call the playerItems.forEach method. Let's outsource the logic into a separate method. Pass in a method called checkItem. Next, define this method at the bottom of the class. On each iteration, we're given the name of the item. Let's accept the item name as a parameter called itemName. Inside the method, add a conditional statement with the following condition: item name does not equal questItem.name. If the names don't match, we should move on to the next item by returning the method. Otherwise, we can assume the player has the item in their inventory. There are 3 steps to preventing the player from opening a treasure chest. Firstly, set the hasBeenOpened variable to true. Setting this variable to true should prevent the player from opening the treasure chest again. Secondly, call the animator component.setBoolean method. Initially, the treasure chest is going to shake. This animation indicates the player can open the treasure chest. Players may be confused if the treasure chest is shaking but can't open it. We should stop the animation by setting the isShaking parameter to false. Updating these values should prevent the player from opening the chest. There's one more thing we should do. We should raise the event for opening the treasure chest. By doing so, the player's inventory will be updated with the item. In addition, the icon for the quest item will appear in the UI. Call the eventManager.raiseTreasureChestUnlocked method. Pass in the quest item variable. That's it. We should be able to view the quest item in the player's inventory. Let's try testing our game by heading over to Unity. I'm going to clear the player's preferences. Next, I'll play the game and head over to the treasure chest. From the start, the treasure chest can be opened. Let's open it to grab the item. After doing so, let's head over to the portal. If we go back to the island, things should be different. Going back to the treasure chest, it's not shaking anymore. We can't open it either. It's completely disabled, which is what we want. The treasure chest should not be functioning if we've already claimed the item. That's great. There's one more thing we should do. When the player enters the island scene, they must view the UI to open the treasure chest. I don't think that makes sense. This UI should only appear after the treasure chest has been opened, not when they enter the portal. In the next lecture, let's work on solving this problem.